In July, Titus Muhofa, Senior Disaster Management Officer in the Office of the Prime Minister, was charged with embezzling 30.6 million Uganda shillings meant for the purchase of food for refugees displaced from neighboring Tanzania. State Minister for Investment, Evelyn Anita, is under probe over Uganda Telecom Limited, and Judicial Service Commission Permanent Secretary Rose Lukwago Nassali is charged alongside two officials with causing financial loss and abuse of office. There have been other big and small cases, but in the fight against graft, the size of acts of corruption is not the issue. An individual who diverts 1 million shillings or less could gradually develop the appetite to steal huge sums. Therefore, they must be dealt with as harshly as one who carries away billions. It also follows criticism that only small fish are caught as the big ones go scot-free is misplaced on two grounds. One, the so-called small fish could grow into big ones through promotions or joining politics and becoming leaders in their central or local government. There, they continue thieving land while a small fish. Two, the small fish could be the big fish route to the till. So, once cut off, the big fish is starved and probably exposed. Corruption is a big problem, blamed for poor service delivery as money is diverted to individuals' pockets. This deprives the public of services and enriches the few entrusted with the money and duty to serve the country. Not only are the people denied services but also hurt because they contribute to the raising of the money through taxes. Furthermore, corruption kills the incentive to pay tax, which raises another developmental challenge. It has become common for people to ask why they should pay taxes and get no return as the money is stolen. The consequences of corruption are dire. The immediate one is constriction of development, which bears social, economic, and political problems. Some critics say people's voices are suffocated in Uganda, that they cannot talk about issues pressing them. Today, people are freely speaking out against corruption. Some are whistleblowers. This is a big achievement to bolster the fight against the vice. Because they are talking, the corrupt are aware that people now know that corruption is real, and there are some of those who are thriving on it. But the problem is the flip side. Some of the corrupt people who are outside the graft circle long to join the corrupt club. They would quickly take up a government job to eat. This explains why jobs in the remote districts are quickly filled by people with fairly good positions in the private sector or in established urban centers. It could also be tempting for the opposition politicians. Since they are not part of the establishment, they can speak out loudly against corruption. It would perhaps be a different story if they got into power. Kenya is a good example to illustrate this point. When former President Daniel Arap Moi bowed out of politics in 2002, many said it was the end of kleptocracy. But soon, some of the politicians who postured as clean while in the opposition became corrupt overnight. It was their time to eat. From recent reports, corruption is not only in government. There have been reports of the Forum for Democratic Change's failure to account for money provided by the Netherlands Institute for Multi-Party Democracy. The money was for procuring communication equipment, and the institute raised concerns about the accountability. It accused the opposition party of submitting forged receipts. The FDC hit back at NIMD for querying the accountability, saying the institute had acted in bad faith. Insiders say money is the main cause of fallouts in opposition parties, resulting in endless wrangles. It is also the same among other backers, the civil society. Failure to account for funds is easily hushed away in the civil society, while they point out the corruption in government. Some of the organizations are said to have turned into family entities, which takes away their moral ground for pointing out corruption in government. Besides, there could be a link between the corrupt on both sides. At the moment, non-government organizations have questioned why the Financial Intelligence Authority is probing them. They say it is a move to gag them, but the authority says it is just doing its job to ensure there's no money laundering. Just like any case of some churches, they do not want their financial records scrutinized. In Uganda, it seems corruption is only fought in government, but tolerated in other non-government entities. The reality, though, is the fight against corruption cannot be left only to the government. All stakeholders must get involved.